Good evening, you too. This is your boy Shawil Glide. I am here today with a little conversation about myself. Um, Today we're gonna get into my journey and how has riding impacted my life, as the title says. And I would say it has definitely impacted it in a great way, you know, because one thing I can say is the road doesn't ask who you are. It shows you who you can be. And that is something that I'm a firm believer of. And by the end of this live, I want y'all to tell me what that means to you. That little quote right there. So about me, I actually started off riding, as you see in this picture here, a sport bike. That was my very first bike. Saved up money, got this bike. It was '08 ZX6R. Beautiful bike, as you can see. Loved it. Had a lot of fun. Um, I would say I did start riding by myself for a little bit. And one thing about riding solo is you truly learn your bike. You get time to learn it. Yeah, I was out there, man. I was out there. That's back in like San Diego. So, it's a lot to do out there. It's a lot of great rides and whatnot. Um, but yeah, like me personally, I would say I did have a little group of people on base that I did ride with eventually. Um, and let's just say riding with a group at first, especially being a newer rider, I kind of didn't get the time to really come into my own as a rider itself. I didn't get a chance to really learn my bike because I was learning from those around me in a way. But the stuff that I was being taught wasn't exactly the right way. So I would say for the new riders out there, be mindful of who is teaching you the ways of bike life because the people that were supposedly teaching me, um, they was all about just getting out there, ripping up the road. No one mentioned any talks of like uh proper like technique going around cornering. No one ever talked about, like what tires were best or best exhaust. Like exhaust, we would talk about every now and then. No one cared to like give you the knowledge you needed to succeed inside this bike like world, especially like protocols and stuff like that. Um, and in the sport bike world, it's almost like a little bit different, because as of right now, as you see, I have my beautiful bike, Mystique. That's before she got all the extra lights and whatnot. Um, she it's a good bike. I would say I definitely started learning more about riding once I got my Harley. But before we get into that, I'll continue about my journey with the sport bike world and why it's different for me. Um, it was different in a way of you didn't have too many people really like as I was saying like teaching you. A lot of times, everyone just want to get on the highway and just go, 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 go. And a lot of the times, I was kind of lost on if I was doing things correctly. Did I resort back to my training and the basics? Yes. Did I feel confident in a lot of my riding on most days? No, I did not. Um, and that goes to me just jumping out there, listening to people, just like, hey, just come on, ride. You'll become better just by riding with us. Da, 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 da. That wasn't true at all. Um, in fact, I feel like my riding skill level was still at the most basics of levels, you know. Um, and it wasn't until I had a buddy of mine. literally one of my brothers from Okie. Uh, we served in the same unit and everything. He pulled me aside and was like, because he came and ride with us one day, and he was like, "Yeah, no, these guys are gonna get you unalive." You know what I'm saying? Because they not teaching you the right ways. He sat there and watched them blow past like you know packs and stuff like that, and it's like, yo, like during that ride, he just like, nah, stay back. He would tell me, flag me down, tell me stay back. We had our headsets at the time, little centers, and he showed me the right way to do things. It wasn't until then, once I rode with him one weekend. We went out for a ride. We rode. I want to say we rode all day. He told me by the end of the day, I will know what it truly means to be in a part of bike life. And he was going to show me. So he took me on his wing. He was actually my mentor in the Marine Corps. So um, that was actually pretty cool too. You know what I mean? And till this day, he still mentors me. And he learns from me as well. So freaking, I would say like that whole day was crazy. All we did was we rode all day, rode our bikes all day, and we would stop. He'll give me feedback on certain things I was doing wrong, for technique and whatnot. So he pretty much taught me how to ride my bike the right way, and gave me good advice where it's like, yo, just keep riding your bike and don't ride with them. Go off and do your own thing. Learn your bike. That was the best advice I could have got to go and learn my bike. So I told you about myself, in the military, they have it where you can sign up for like advanced classes, uh, maneuvers at highway speeds and stuff like that, and dirt bike classes. So I did the advanced course where, in California still on Miramar, the Marine Corps base. And excuse me, it was pretty cool. I actually still freaking was learning the bike and everything. Everybody else had cruisers, not gonna lie. Literally everybody else had a Harley. I was the only sport bike. And for me, it was like, man, I'm watching these guys, weave in and out like it's nothing, you know. And if you ever rode a sport bike, you know that your lean angle is a lot different. You can't handle a sport bike the same way someone on a Harley handles theirs. I mean, no, unless you got one of them set up like a king of the baggers type deal. You know what I mean? So learned a little bit of the mechanics on that, and I started riding. I would ride every day. I would ride from San Diego up to Oceanside. I'll ride from, and I keep going further. I go from San Diego to Huntington Beach. I go from San Diego to La Jolla. I just ride all around. You know what I'm saying? Because my first time riding with a group, they tried to take me on a mountain. Mind you, I had just got my bike maybe like 3 weeks before that. So I'm like, I'm not comfortable with this. I don't know the roads. So they zooming around, leaving me. I'm just taking my time because I don't know. I didn't know the roads, and I wasn't comfortable with leaning my bike like that. Shit, finesse day styles going on. So I want to give a shout out to Finesse Day Styles. This is my brother and mentor I was telling you about that taught me about bike life. I used to hang out with him at his you know his spot. You know what I'm saying? Back when he was what I'm saying, on the set and stuff. As of right now, I will say before I continue, if you guys are ever in Florida, North Carolina, anything like that, hit him up. Follow him on Instagram. Finesse Day Styles. He'll get you right with a haircut. I promise you. Um, but I would say like I would just constantly like ride my bike, ride my bike, ride my bike. And if I rode, with him, I would follow like like how he would. And I remember the one night it was just like he's like, all right, we riding. And I hate riding at night. Everybody know me. I hate riding at night. And I remember one night he was telling me, he's like, yo, just follow me and stay on my ass, bro. Like, do not let up. So me not knowing what he was talking about, right? This man started going. Taught me how to get through traffic the right way. Because in Cali you can split lanes and whatnot. I've never done that. So he was like, yeah, just stay with me, you'll be fine. Got over that fear of split lanes. You know what I'm saying? real fast. So, um, but yeah, it was pretty cool, you know. Like experiences like that, you learn, you know. And then then going forward, we're moving into, you know, I end up having to sell my bike before I left California, and stop. I had a gap, in between riding. I kept looking, for new bikes, just when I got on the East Coast, and I finally got my Harley. Um, so this is Mystique when I picked her up, bare bones, nothing. You know what I'm saying? And I will say, once I got my Harley, that right there really opened my eyes to what riding my bike was about. You know what I'm saying? I would go solo ride anywhere in the area. So I rode up to, what was it, Mohawk Trail, rode up there. You know what I mean? Learn how to ride this bike. Like this is my very first Harley, so I never rode it and whatnot. And I would say I'm very impressed with this side of life as far as bike life goes. Now, my journeys as riding solo has taken me to crossing states, even crossing freaking borders. You know what I mean? I crossed into Canada on my bike. My first time was with my homie Mina. We crossed over into Canada for breakfast and whatnot. So that was pretty dope. And I was like, all right, cool. Let's do that. So I would say riding solo definitely, you know, led me to meet a lot of interesting people. Um, and it taught me a lot. It really did. It really taught me a lot about the bike and myself. Because when you out there by yourself, it's like you have time to really think and see what kind of rider you are, what kind of person you are. And I've had some flaws. I made a few rookie mistakes here and there, but I will say I never wavered from my journey. I still made sure that I completed my journey no matter what. Um, what else? Yeah. So riding solo, that's what I like. If you ride solo, or if you like riding solo, what I'm saying? Tell me some of like your experiences, or if you have any questions for me, feel free to ask me. I don't mind telling you guys my experiences. So, but I know another thing that I tend to enjoy more now. Sorry about that. I was trying to read something. Um, Something I truly enjoy now is riding with others. Because at first I was just kind of like standoffish about riding with other people. Um, because a lot of times I'll invite people out on rides and they just don't show up, or you know they'll be committed on the initial invite, and then it's just like you ask them later on, oh, well, I'm busy that day, well, today, but then why'd you accept the invite? Don't waste my time. You know what I'm saying? I like to ride. I like to get out on my bike and go. Um, that's what these machines are for. Especially if you're on a touring bike, they're for touring. You know what I'm saying? Not saying you can't just hang out, ride around town and stuff. Do what you do. But I like to get my bike out and get the tires dirty. You heard? As far as another thing I want to hit on too tonight, um, as far as like riding with groups, because I did end up starting riding with people. Uh, the only stresses I could say about riding with a group of people or other people in general, whether it's one other person or two other people, whatever, I would say is we all have different like capabilities, or our stamina or endurance is a lot different. Um, I've rode with people who, hey, after about 2, 3 hours, look, they want to take a break. We gotta take a break. You know what I'm saying? um, or they want, they want to hunker down for the night or whatever case may be, or they won't ride past 2 or 3 hours. That's probably like their limit. Um, Me personally, I mean, that's ride your ride, always. I would never tell you not, I would never tell you, what I'm saying, push it if you're not comfortable with it. You know, as for myself though, I personally like to, if there's a destination I want to get to, I like to push as far as I can and get there. Like I'll push until like I start really feeling tired or uncomfortable, which usually takes a while from what I've noticed about myself. But I feel like you definitely got to know the group of people or the people that's within that group that is on the journey and they are riding. You got to know their capabilities. What was that you said? Group rides with like-minded people is so fun. Yes, that is definitely true. That is definitely true. Because I don't know about you, but have you ever had people like that come on a ride and then they complain a lot? And it's like, dude, really? You gonna complain the entire ride? So I've had people like that. They complain most of the ride. And I don't think I mean like minded people, yes. I mean everybody's gonna have their own, their own ways about things. I will say that. But also I would say if you know that you're trying to take a trip that's gonna take me like 8 hours or right. No, not even 8 hours. That's pretty easy. If you're gonna be on a trip that's gonna take you about 15 plus hours to get to the destination that you're trying to get to, then yeah, make sure you ride it with make sure you invite the people that you know can make those trips, without any issue. Yes, it is very important to learn the people and their limits. I mean, I do too. Like sometimes, like I'll even like get the information just through conversation. I'll just talk to people and I'll be like, hey, like like where have you been? Like, and if they tell me like most of the time it's around town or you like or I'll ask like you ever been here? You ever you know left the state or anything? And then sometimes people be like, yeah, but I only went here. Um, or they'll ask me where I've been, and if I tell them somewhere, they be like, "Oh." Once I get that, oh, I know, I know it's a long shot getting you to come ride with me, across state lines, because a lot of times they hear that and this. Now you think about the hours. Me personally, like I'll try not to think about how long the trip is. Honestly, I really don't. Um, like if I'm planning a trip, like for example, like when I rode with Gab and we rode to Canada for the first time. Well, we only rode to Canada one time, but we rode to Canada and I think we just planned out the route where we was gonna go. You know what I'm saying? We was gonna go to like Laconia and then um head over to Canada, whatever the case would be. And plans change, you know. She wasn't on no, oh man, freak, I don't roll up here, da da da. You have some people that'll be like that. No, we adapted to the situation and we went where we went. We went to Vermont instead. And the next month freaking we bounced out to what's the name? Sorry about that. We bounced out to Canada. So I will say you definitely gotta make sure that the people that's with you are able to make these trips, and also they're not gonna be on no crybaby stuff. Sorry, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Don't cry about it. Some people may think it sounds mean, but I'm not being mean. I'm just being honest. But yeah, I don't. People ask me all the time, like, "Oh, miles this, miles that." Uh, like even you guys, glad and Ryan smiling. I think I don't know if it was you. Somebody mentioned doing the iron butt challenges and stuff like that. I'll be honest, I really don't care for that. I mean, that's just me personally. That's my personal feeling towards it. I really don't care for it. I just want to get out there and complete another adventure. I want to go new places, see new places. I don't need a challenge to make me go somewhere. Not saying that anybody else does, but I mean it's always cool for you to get awards and stuff. But me personally, I just don't give a shit. Um, I just want to get out there, get the bike on the highway, go see something dope. You know what I mean? And live my life to the best of my ability. So that's what I do. I don't I don't care to get all this stuff. Like over here, I got the what 5,000 hog miles and the 1,000 hog. I, I don't care to put that on anything. I really don't. But what else would I want to cover tonight? Oh, when you out there on the road, like I see some people like I've rode past people that ride stop on the bridges and they wait, and it's not. Sometimes it don't be raining that bad. I just keep pushing. If it's like coming down to a point where I'm just like, man, you know what, this is just ain't worth it. Whatever road just flooding. Like I wasn't gonna ride through Jersey Turnpike during the time that it was flooded. I would not do that. No. Mm-mm. But if it's not coming out crazy, I'll still keep pushing. I don't mind it. It is what it is. I see it as a free a free bike wash. Personally, I feel like, you know, like like every challenge that I face on the road is kind of like a mirror of my life. So when I say that, it's more so saying my life wasn't perfect, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I did overcome those things. You know what I mean? I did what I made sure that I was mentally strong to overcome whatever came my way. And I will continue to overcome whatever comes my way. So, but tonight it's not going to be a long situation because, normally on the podcast, we'd be on for an hour. But I just wanted to touch on those few things. Little chat every night before I close out. You know what I'm saying? Every night I will be coming on and just speaking with you guys. So if you guys have questions for me, feel free to ask them. I encourage it actually, so that way we can have an engaging conversation. I don't mind answering you guys' questions. Also, what I do have in the in the works, what I'm planning, I would say October, the end of closer to the end of October, I will. Well, I'm planning to head down to the Pharaoh Souls annual. So if you're gonna be down there, you probably see me down there. It's not a promise as of yet. See, I got to see how I'm feeling. You know what I mean? Uh, what else do I have? Oh, we'll have a new part going on Mystique. I will have a new part going on Mystique. I will shoot that video and I will get it out to you guys. I want to say I could probably get out to you guys this weekend. I'm gonna try to get it out this weekend. All right. Once again, I'm not making any promise. Like I said, I'm gonna try. Keyword try. I'm gonna try to get it out. Once the product gets here, I will do a video of me opening the box. I will do a video of it on the bike, and I will do a video of me riding around town with it. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I am going to be preparing to go on my longer trip, which I feel like I feel like I might end up doing it. Because I want to make sure that you know I can do this review for you guys and give an accurate review on this new seat I'm putting on. Is there any other parts I think I'll put on? No, the other parts that I'll be putting on Mystique will end up coming during the wintertime. but I'm not gonna say what those are until I get the parts. All right, so all for the night, man. That's all I had. If you have topics that you want me to hit on, feel free to message me on Instagram, Shawil Glide. I will gladly read through the messages and I will hit on the topics. Um, I'm gonna try to make it more engaging, and I got a few other surprises that I'm trying to put in the works um, to help not just myself but help you guys as well. So if you're new here, like, subscribe, and hit that bell so that way you can be notified when I post new content. And if you are a subscriber already, share these videos and tell people to subscribe, even if you gotta beat them over the head. You know what I'm saying? Nah, I'm just playing. Please don't do that. But yeah, we're not condoning violence, all right? Uh, but yeah, what I'm saying? Share this content. Everybody have a good night. And as always, keep them twos. You see it? Twos down. You heard? This your boy Shawil Glide. I'm out. Until tomorrow night, 8 p.m. with Left Lane Chronicles.